Hey guys, Ark here, bringing to you another episode of the Learning Night Elf series. This is kind of a two-part episode, and so the video I just did, it's actually uploading right now. That video is showing the Keeper of the Grove hunts opening versus standard Blade Master opening from the Orc. So I just wanted to show the build in that previous video, and then I wanted to use this video to kind of touch through some of the highlights that I kind of mentioned, because it's a little bit difficult to show that in a game versus a computer, of course. So what you're going to see me here just do is a regular opening. This is me playing a custom game against one of my friends, and so if we look at his base, you can tell that this is a pretty generic opening from the Orc. So my Whisk comes into play here, and this is the what I'm seeing. So when I look at this base, I see a shop that's built slightly too late for his hero to pick up items right away. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. That's incorrect. So, sorry, it's a little bit weird when you don't have to, when you're not cycling through your altar and stuff. It looked like a regular creep timing, but I forgot it was actually the timing to have the shop be done for his hero. So when I see this, I immediately think, okay, he's going to harass me at the start. So having that knowledge, I know that I need to be in a position where my buildings are safe, and try and still look for a level 2, but just force him to relocate somewhere on the map. So we're gonna see what I do. So he has the scout peon. This is very common at the in this matchup to have the scout peon. This seems a little loud. Let's go ahead and lower it some more. Sorry about that. So I see the scout peon. I know he's doing a route that is going to be harassing me at the start. A little bit unfortunate I lose this wisp here. Didn't deado it either. But I know that he sees me, and when he sees me, if he goes to my base, he's going to allow me to get level 2, which basically means that his harass is shut down. So going into this, how do I deal with the Blade Master harassing me? I need to either protect my Moonwell. I think my build was actually a little bit late here, so I am a little bit slow on this point, but I need to either protect my Moonwell or force him to relocate. He has the vision, so he sees that I'm going to be creeping level 2, and he knows if I get level 2, his harass is going to be ending pretty fast. So he is going to actually run over here to stop me from creeping. So it's totally okay that I don't creep this, and part of the reason why I didn't creep this wisp here that was pulling the camp, I could tell that he was going to be running towards me. So there's no point in starting this camp because he's just going to jack me. So all I'm doing here is trying to force his Blade Master to relocate. Now, had I not seen, an indication that he's coming towards me, I would have continued creeping this and just gotten level 2. But my assumption was that also that he was going to be jacking me here because he saw that I'm here, and yeah. So there's a lot of mind games, I guess, that went into play right here. But when you're trying to think of how to defend from a harass, think of two things: defend your Moonwell or force him to relocate. And one of those is going to be the correct answer in all of your situations. It's just a matter of which one do you go with. So try and keep that in mind. On Tide Hunters, it's nice because forcing him to relocate puts him far away from my base, whereas on a map like LR, forcing him to relocate might just put him right next to my base still. So at this point, he stopped chasing my keeper. I did go for the 3 Moonwell build, so I'm going to be looking for doing something more at T1, or at least waiting to decide exactly what I want to do. And then I did a movements to come back to creep my gold mine because I'm thinking that I want to do a T1 Expo. Part of the reason why I'm thinking that is I pushed away the Peon, so he's not going to be able to know what I'm doing specifically. I have the Scout Wisp here that does see him, so I know that he's not going to be around me. And at this point, ideally I would have had a Wisp nearby, but at this point I made the decision, okay, I'm going to Expo, and I bring the Wisp and I place it because I know the only reason for him to be on that side of the map is if he's going to continue creeping, which means that my Expo's safe. So these are kind of all the things that have gone through my mind during this first few minutes of the game, just based off of seeing the shop timing. So I saw that his shop timing indicated he's going to harass me. I did something to force him to relocate to protect my base, and then I made the decision to keep creeping because he stopped chasing my hero. So him stopping to chase my hero means that he's either creeping, and I should just creep. But it also means that, you know, there's not really, I don't really know what I can do because I don't have the information of what he's doing. So I just keep creeping with the expectation that he's either going to jack me here or I'm going to creep it freely. And then I got the information here that says, okay, an Expo is going to be safe. So I go ahead and Expo. So a lot to unload there, but this is basically Keeper of the Grove versus Standard Orc. You kind of have to be making these decisions based off of what you scout. Otherwise, you know, otherwise you're just playing guesswork. In a lot of cases, all the matchups are really like this, but it's just not very obvious, I guess, as unless you're really intimately involved with the game, I guess. So at this point, my sole focus is to protect my Expo. I don't have a clear idea of where he's at, but I do know he scouted this. So that could tell me that, hey, he might think I'm expoing. So I'm just going to stick around here, creep some of these easy camps until, you know, I can get some new scouting intel on him. At least until the point where my expo is going to be safe. So, yep, just sitting. Going to be creeping this turtle now. Drag it back here, most likely, if I remember right. Or, okay, drag it that direction. That works too. So picked up the dust. Dust is very important. It can shut down a lot of harass. So at this point, my expo is pretty much done, so it's pretty safe. This is a pretty bad play from my part, I would say. But I don't really want to focus too much on this movement here because really everything in this matchup dictates on handling the early game correctly. And I had a pretty typical early game where I have my expo. I'm going to get my hero once I hit tier 2. I'm starting my upgrades. I have 2 AOWs. This is all pretty typical, and if this is a point where you struggle with, going further into this game is not value added. You need to be able to get to this point consistently. Otherwise, the issue is really something you're doing, because this is just this is how a standard Night Elf versus Orc will look like unless the Night Elf makes mistakes. So with that said, I covered a lot here. So hopefully you guys found it interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits here though, and thanks for tuning in again. Bye.